Let's head now down to the Eastern Cape, where eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda is keeping an eye on the situation there for us. Hello to you, Ronald. How's the Eastern Cape looking this morning? Where are you? East London, it looks like, and I see traffic flowing behind you. Calm or violence? What are you seeing?
Calm at this stage, Gareth, but what I can tell you is that it's been a game of hide and seek since we got here in the Nelson or the Buffalo City Metro, where we have seen quite a lot of police roaming the streets looking for potential people who are part of this shutdown, but we haven't seen much in terms of what we saw last night. There were protests last night, and in the early hours of this morning, there were areas such as Mdantsane where tires were set alight, as well on the N2 between Butterworth and East London. But what we can tell you is that the police here are leaving nothing to chance. What we heard from the police earlier this morning is that they've deployed thousands of police officers across the province. The spokesperson of SAPS here in the province, Temikosi Kenana, he is stationed in Mthatha monitoring the situation there. Here in East London, it's pretty quiet, but we also saw quite a large group gathering at a protest here in East London. The police having been caught off guard, but the police releasing a statement earlier, and I'm just going to read a few lines of the statement saying that various security measures have been put in place to ensure that lawlessness and possible damage to property and looting are prevented by all means. All law enforcement forces have already been deployed throughout the province in identified strategic points and hotspots. But what we can also tell you, Gareth, at this stage is that it seems like those who will be part of the shutdown are taking a break. We are understanding that they will be gathered outside of the EFF offices here in East London at around 9:30 this morning.
Ronald, is and over an hour from now is when it's expected to get underway. So I see SAPS behind you, not looking like they're too concerned with anything. The traffic is flowing. What about the army? We hear about over 3,400 SANDF members on standby between the 17th of March, a few days ago, up until the 17th of April. What's SANDF looking like? Seen anybody in camo this morning?
Not at all. We haven't seen any signs of the SANDF so far, but we understand that there are areas which are heavily guarded, which we are yet to go to, like the King Paulo Airport here in East London. We believe that there's quite a large security presence. We understand that when the EFF starts its march here in East London, it will be marching to the airport. But what we have been also hearing is that those behind these attacks, burning tires on the roads, have not been arrested as of yet. And what we have seen is that the police have been quick to react in such situations. Earlier on, we were also near the N2 where we saw the police reacting to an incident that took place there, but no one has been arrested for this. And we also cannot say at this stage if those who are behind these burning of tires are part of this shutdown.
Yeah, and I suppose this is going to be the complication, isn't it? Without getting any actual reaction from the EFF and all of those on the ground, Ronald, there's always going to be a case of it's never going to be directly attributable to any of the political parties or the unions. You and I have covered this for many, many years, events like this, and so is Tumza, where at the end of the day we're going to get told if there is any violence, nothing to do with the political party, it was outside forces. And that's what makes covering this so difficult, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed, Gareth. And what we also understand is that just from the notifications that I received, just from the general public, people who are saying that their issues are with housing and that they're not necessarily part of today's shutdown, but they will indeed, capitalize on the situation by doing their own sort of protest action. So it remains to be seen as to how people will respond to this shutdown. Earlier, we also understand that in Mdantsane there was quite a lot of, attempts to set stuff alight, but that was stopped immediately by the police. But even yesterday, when we were driving from Tentani in the rural Eastern Cape. We saw quite a large contingent of people starting to mobilize themselves quite early yesterday in Butterworth. So there could be quite a number of these protests taking place in smaller regions here of the Eastern Cape, and that is the difficulty for the police, who will be stretched here in the province.
All right, Ronald Masinda for the moment, and thank you very much indeed down for us in East London and the Eastern Cape.